Once upon a time, in the middle of a cold, snowy winter, a queen sat by her, window sewing. She accidentally pricked her finger with her needle, and drops of bright red blood fell onto the snow on the windowsill. As she looked at the striking contrast of red on white, she whispered to herself,
"I wish I had a child with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as this ebony wood."
Not long after, the queen gave birth to a baby girl who looked exactly as she had wished. Her skin was pure white, her lips deep red, and her hair black as night.
"My beautiful child, we shall name her Snow White."
And the whole kingdom celebrated it. But happiness was brief, for the queen died soon after. Time moved on, and the king remarried, hoping to bring happiness back to the palace. The new queen was beautiful, but her heart was cold. She owned a magical mirror, and every day she stood before it and asked,
"Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" "You, my queen, you are the fairest of all."
This pleased the queen. Years passed, and Snow White grew older. She became even more beautiful, but more importantly, she remained kind and caring. She helped others, spoke gently, and smiled easily. One morning, the queen asked her mirror the familiar question. This time, the mirror replied,
"You are fair, queen, it's true, but Snow White is fairer than you."
The queen's smile disappeared. Jealousy filled her heart. From that moment on, she could not bear the sight of Snow White.
"Take Snow White into the forest. Kill her and bring me her heart, as proof that she is dead."
The queen ordered Snow White to be taken deep into the forest and left there forever. The huntsman obeyed. When he raised his knife to kill her, she began to cry.
"Please, dear huntsman, don't hurt me. Let me go. And I promise
The
I will
huntsman
never
looked
come
at her
back."
innocent face and felt sorry for her. She was too kind and too beautiful to kill.
"Run, child, run. Escape and never return."
To trick the queen, he killed a wild boar instead and took its heart back to the castle, pretending it was Snow White's. Believing Snow White dead, the queen was very happy. Meanwhile, Snow White was alone and terrified in the dark forest. The trees loomed over her, and every rustle of the leaves made her jump.
Where am I? What will I do?
She ran for hours, not knowing where she was going, until her strength began to fade. Fear followed her through the darkness, but hope pushed her forward. Finally, as the sun began to set, she came upon a little house, a strange, quiet home standing alone across a forest clearing. A warm light glowed from its windows, and for the first time that day, she felt a small sense of safety. She slowly entered the house. It was warm and quiet. Inside, she found 7 plates, 7 cups, and 7 little beds, all neatly arranged. Hungry and exhausted, she sat at the table. She took a small sip from one cup and tasted a little food from one of the plates. Then she walked into the bedroom and tried each of the 7 beds, one by one, until she found one that felt just right. Too tired to stay awake any longer, she lay down and fell into a deep, peaceful sleep. That night, the 7 dwarfs were deep inside the mine. Their pickaxes tapped against the stone, and shiny gems sparkled all around. As always, they worked together, smiling and laughing. They loved to sing while they worked.
These gems
Their
are ours.
voices
I
echoed
keep
through the
swinging,
tunnels,
lads. Look at them
turning hard
spark.
work into happy music. With every swing of their tools, they sang louder and louder, forgetting their tired feet and dusty beards. For the dwarfs, mining was not just work, it was joy. 7 dwarfs returned from the mining in the mount.
Look, someone has been in our house.
Who's been sitting in my chair? Who's been drinking from my cup?
Who's eaten from my plate?
Someone's been sleeping in my bed, and she's still there.
Who is she?
She is so beautiful.
Oh, yes.
She is such a lovely girl.
They did not wake her. Instead, they let her sleep peacefully. That night, the 7 dwarfs took turns staying awake, watching over her and protecting her through the darkness until morning came. In the morning, Snow White woke up and was startled to see the dwarf. But they were friendly and kind.
I am Snow White. My stepmother, the queen, she wanted me gone. She was angry because the mirror said I was fairer than her. She told a guard to take me deep into the forest and leave me there. I was so scared. I ran and ran, not knowing where I was going. The trees felt so big and the forest was so dark. I thought I would be alone forever. But then I saw your little house. It was warm and quiet and safe. I was so scared. I didn't mean to eat your food or sleep in your bed. I was just hungry and very tired. Please don't be angry with me. I have nowhere else to go.
Don't be afraid. You're safe here now. No one will hurt you in our home. Well, you can stay with us, but we have a few rules. You have to help cook our meals and clean the house because we work all day in the mine. And we're terrible at cleaning. If you keep the house warm and happy,
Then you are welcome here.
Yes, of course. I'll cook and clean with all my heart. I promise to take good care of your home.
Before they left each morning, the dwarfs warned her.
Snow White, listen carefully. While we are away, do not open the door to anyone,
No strangers.
not even if they seem kind, especially not old women selling things. Your stepmother is dangerous. We worry about you.
Lock the door and stay safe.
Take care of the house. We'll be back before sunset.
The dwarfs back to the mountain. Back at the palace, the queen stood before her magic mirror once more.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them
To
all?
her horror, the mirror replied.
You are fair, O queen, it is true. But Snow White, living with the 7 dwarfs, is fairer than you.
The queen was furious. Disguising herself as an old peddler woman, the queen traveled over the mountains to the dwarf's cottage. Snow White, thinking this harmless, opened the door and admired the lace.
Good day. Who are you? Stand still, dear.
All right.
This ribbon will suit you perfectly.
Feels a little, I feel desert.
You are no longer more beautiful than I am.
When the dwarfs returned, they revived her just in time.
Thank you, all of you.
That was your stepmother.
Please promise us something.
Promise you will, just promise.
The next day, the queen asked the mirror again.
I will not leave her. Snow White will pay for this.
Enraged,
No
the
one
queen
will
disguised
recognize.
herself once more, this time as a different old woman. She made a poisonous comb and traveled again to the dwarf's home.
Such fine combs for a beautiful young girl. No need, just take a look from your window.
I am not let
Snow
anyone
White
But my dear,
admired
this
the
is a
comb.
special gift.
When the
Let me
woman
fix your
offered to
hair,
fix
dear.
it in her
All
hair,
right.
she allowed it.
in. Oh,
But the moment the
I feel
comb
dizzy.
touched her head,
Snow
the
White?
poison
Oh,
worked
no!
and she collapsed again. When the dwarfs returned and saw her lifeless body, they searched and found the comb. As soon as they pulled it out, she revived.
You must never ever open the door to strangers again.
When the queen learned that Snow White was
Beauty
alive,
fades, does
she
makes.
created the most dangerous trick of all. A beautiful red and white apple
One
poisoned
bite
only
and
on
beauty
one
will
side.
fade forever.
Then she sent to Dwarf's house and knocked on the dwarf's door.
I can't let anyone in.
That's all right, dear. Here, I will cut one in half. You eat one half, I will eat the other. That way you'll see it's safe.
As soon as Snow White took a bit, she fell to the ground. When the dwarfs came home, they couldn't revive her. They tried everything, but nothing worked. She didn't breathe. She was gone. For 3 days, they wept over her, then built a glass coffin, placed her in it on the mountain, and one of them always stood watch.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? You, my queen, you are the fairest of all.
One day, a prince rode through the forest and saw the beautiful girl in the glass coffin. He read the golden letters, Snow White, daughter of a king.
Please, let me take her with me. I will honor her memory always.
At first, the dwarfs refused, but the prince pleaded with such sincerity that they finally agreed. As his servants carried the coffin away, they stumbled on a root. The jolt caused the piece of poisoned apple to pop out of Snow White's throat.
Where am I?
You are safe now.
Come with me to my castle. Will you be my queen?
Snow White smiled and agreed. A grand wedding was held. Snow White and the prince were married in splendor. The wicked queen, still believing Snow White was dead, was invited too. Before she left, she stood before her mirror.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? You, my queen, are the fairest, it's true, but a new queen is fairer than you.
The queen's heart was filled with dread, but she had to see who this new queen was. At the wedding feast, a punishment had been prepared. The queen was forced to wear red-hot iron shoes and dance in them until she dropped to the floor, never to rise again. And so Snow White and the prince ruled their kingdom with kindness and joy. She never forgot the dwarfs who had saved her, and they visited often, always welcomed as honored guests. And they all lived happily ever after.